All eyes are on the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse this morning. This is a live look, actually, where this morning former President Donald Trump will be formally arrested and charged.
An unprecedented day, of course, in American history. The first president ever to face criminal charges. So we're going to bring in, as you saw at the top there, our evening anchor, Alex Michelson. He is the evening anchor and the host of the political show we have, The Issue Is. Alex, watching this obviously closely to see what transpires. Typically, arraignments are pretty cut and dry. Do we expect the same to be the case here?
No. How many arraignments have a setup like that outside? I mean, it's a circus, baby. Yeah, no, I mean, well, we'll see. I mean, the actual arraignment itself may be somewhat cut and dry in the courtroom. Of course, that the judge has control over. The rest of it, though, is unlike anything we've ever seen before. Some questions on what's going to happen today. So we still haven't seen President Trump arrive to the courthouse itself. Once he gets there, we know for sure that he's going to be fingerprinted. That's an electronic fingerprint. They don't put the stuff on your fingers anymore. That has to happen. You don't have to take a mugshot. That is the discretion of the folks that are there on whether they think it's needed. Part of the reason that you would take a mugshot is if you think somebody's a significant flight risk, which he's not considered to be, and to potentially help get the word out about what that person looks like.
We all know.
Fair to say.
There's been a few pictures of him in the public domain that some people may know what Donald Trump looks like.
Even my 4-year-old.
Yeah, and also to do the mugshot, apparently they don't have the correct setup in that DA's office to do it. They'd have to take him somewhere else. And as you can see, moving him around is not all that easy with the Secret Service. So we're probably not going to see a mugshot. We are going to see him, though, in the court room. There's going to be still photographers that are brought in for a few minutes at the beginning of it, snap some pictures of him before this thing starts. There's not going to be video cameras in the courtroom. There are going to be video cameras outside the courtroom in the hallway, so we may see him then. And some of the stuff that they may talk about today, there may be an attempt to change the venue. The Trump team saying this morning that they don't think he's going to get a fair trial in Manhattan, which, by the way, used to be his home and used to be the place that he was so focused on being beloved in Manhattan. Now he wants to move it to Staten Island, which, of course, is the most Republican area in New York. Judge likely going to say no to that, but we'll see. Another question is, will there be a gag order, which means that people in the case can't talk about it outside of the courtroom? Donald Trump's team says, no, we don't want that. He likes to talk about it. He's using this as this big campaign thing. He's supposed to do a big speech about it tonight. The judge, though, could implement that potentially. The Trump team says that that would be a big First Amendment violation as we look live in New York right now. We're still awaiting the president leaving Trump Tower, and we thought that that would happen some time ago. But it hasn't happened yet.
By the way, he got a new attorney, right? He appointed a new attorney just last minute. What do we make of that? Anything?
He added an attorney, so he didn't take away from his team. He added an attorney who's supposedly well-respected. He worked for Paul Manafort, who had been his campaign chairman. He worked for a guy named Boris Epstein, who was also a close ally of Trump. And I think Boris Epstein said to Trump, this guy would be really helpful for you. So he added some star, legal folks here, because this is as high-profile a case as it gets. And if you're Donald Trump and you're a billionaire and you're the former president, you just raised $8 million in a matter of a few days, you can hire some pretty good people.
Now, let's remind people how we got to this position to begin with, right? The legalities of this case, which we're going to find out more as the indictment's unsealed at this arraignment. But we've been looking through some of the facts, right, of this case and what led up to this point.
Right. Okay. As we said last week, it all starts with the porn star. So back...
I believe you said all good stories begin with
the porn star. Yes, that is true. So back in 2006, Donald Trump, his wife was pregnant and just had their baby, and he apparently was engaged in an affair with Stormy Daniels, according to her. He denies that. Years later, when he's running for president in 2016, she wants to go public with that story. His fixer attorney, Michael Cohen, steps in to try to stop Stormy Daniels from saying this right before the presidential campaign. He pays her $130,000 out of his own money. Donald Trump then repays Michael Cohen for that money. And it is listed as legal fees, which it really wasn't legal fees. It was paying for this. The question is, was that illegal for Donald Trump to do that? Now, that could be one of the charges. We haven't seen the charges yet. There could be other charges as well. We know there was a woman named Karen McDougal, who was a Playboy model, who alleged that she had an affair with Donald Trump. She was paid money by the National Enquirer to not have that story go public. We know that Donald Trump was potentially involved with that deal. Was there something illegal with that? Are there other instances that we don't know about yet? And that's what we're waiting to find out. Once this arraignment happens, we expect in less than 2 hours now, the indictment should be unsealed and we can actually read the charges for the first time. It's been amazing, Roxy and Sandra, to see everybody's got an opinion on something that nobody has seen.
Right, nobody knows for sure all the details in terms of what is in that indictment. And we know that there's going to be a lot of protests, right, surrounding this already in the park, across the street from the courthouse, supporters and opponents alike. Look at that crowd already forming right there. There's a live look outside the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse, that is the park.
I can't tell
directly
if they're supporters or...
Both.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
both.
a mixture
So we've seen a mix, because we know that Manhattan is one of the most democratic cities in the entire country. And so I think Trump lost Manhattan like 90-10. So, I mean, that's part of the reason he says, I want a venue change. I can't get a fair trial here. So you would think that the folks that are there are anti-Trump. We do know some people have come in from other parts of the country like he asked them to. We already saw Marjorie Taylor Greene was out there, the congresswoman from Georgia. We saw George Santos, if that's his real name, the congressman from New York, was out there.
Fair point.
We also saw Jamal Bowman, who is the congressman from New York, out there screaming at Marjorie Taylor Greene, basically, go back to your district. What are you doing here? You're just trying to get attention. So this is a real circus that we're seeing out there.
Speaking of attention, you touched on this really briefly, but I do want to point this out. You mentioned the $8 million. Since this has all transpired, he has collected $8 million. That's a ton of money, good chunk of change, and all the attention, which we know that, you know, he doesn't mind.
He loves.
So is this, in a way, is this helping or hurting? I guess we have to see how it plays out, but it seems like it could be working for him.
Objectively, so far, there is no way to say this is not helping his campaign, right? I mean, he's raising money. He's getting more attention. We've seen him up in the polls. They've been able to spin this so far as potential Democratic overreach. He's gotten to the point where all of his potential rivals in the GOP primary are backing him. Which is quite a thing to have happen. The fact that you get indicted and it gets more people on your side. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. What we don't know is long term. What are the charges actually going to be here today? What potentially charges could he be facing in these other criminal investigations into him? Does that all sort of have get to a point where some Republicans voters say, enough, we want to move on? I mean, Ron DeSantis, who is potentially his greatest challenger for the Republican nomination, is essentially running as, I'm Donald Trump without the drama. You're going to get the same policies. You're just not going to get a porn star and not going to get an indictment. You know, so if DeSantis is able to do that effectively, could there be an appetite from some Republicans to say we want to move on from Trump? There's a lot of folks in the media that think that's going to happen. But when you actually look at the base and look at actual polling, Donald Trump is still the strong frontrunner.
It is fascinating. It really is. All right, all eyes. We're still watching Trump Tower there in Manhattan, waiting to see when he will make his way to the courthouse. Alex, you're sticking around. You'll join us in the 10, right?
Yeah, I'm here literally all day.
You're literally here.
11 p.m.
You're literally here always anyway.
Yeah.
All right.